Today's episode is solely going to focus on personal updates, some fun stuff, what's to come. We're keeping it light today.
Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in.
Alrighty, so welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. If this is your first episode, welcome. If you're a longtime listener, I appreciate you for coming back. I am enjoying this lovely Sunday. This episode's going to be a short one because if you are aware of where I've been the past couple of weeks, months, SEO School launch just wrapped up. Going to be stepping into a busy couple of months between my new Google Ads offer, and I've got a decent chunk of client work lined up, my typical retainer clients, of course, and then some work travel and some personal travel. So just, sending myself gently into the next couple of months. And it's funny because I was just talking to someone about how summer typically is like a slower period. And I think I need to use a different word. It's a more predictable period. It's not slower. So just moving into like a way more predictable period of the year, and just, I'm excited for it. It's just this time of year always comes with a more predictable schedule because I have to move things around and I just have less availability because my retainer clients always come first. So this past weekend has been I'll start with the weekend updates, but then just go into general stuff. This past weekend has been one of those weekends where it just felt really long and really great. Sometimes I feel like you go through a day and you're like, man, that day just went so fast. I have no idea where the day went. And this weekend, it felt like most days were quite slow, which is always a nice change up. So Friday, we hung out that night. Shantae did DJing, I did piano, and if you're a Taylor Swift fan, I learned how to play All Too Well on the piano. So if I can, muster up some confidence to sing along to it, because when you sing, you don't necessarily have to be like perfect, but if I can muster up the confidence to do that, maybe I would do it. I don't know. We'll see. But learned how to play that on the piano. And then Saturday we played volleyball in the morning, and then we went to go see the Michael Jackson movie Saturday night, which was really good. Really enjoyed it. And then today, presented for the Wealthy Practice this morning at 8. It was a really early day for me. And then we did our full house clean, which you're familiar with that if you follow us. And if you don't, or if you're new around here, we do a monthly house clean. It's like we have a really big house. So we rent a house in California. It's a 4-bedroom house because we both need offices, and the house is just big. So we split up the work. Shantae does a lot of the vacuuming, mopping, dusting, and then I do kitchen and bathrooms. And we did that today. So it was a busy day. And then I just took a nap, of course, because when am I not sleeping? And now I'm drinking coffee and recording this for you. Have a little bit more. I have work that I should be doing. I'll probably, get a lift in as well. But it was a very good, slow, easy weekend, and looking forward to, again, the same, bringing that energy into the week, because it's always nice to bring the nice, slow energy in. I'm just taking a deep breath before we get started. I have nothing that I haven't already talked about. I have an episode that I want to record, but I think I might end up interviewing my mom for it. And I kind of need to get the point laid out. It's an important story about my history and my introduction into the world. But I feel like it's not my story to tell. And I asked her about it, and she was like, yeah, you can of course tell that. But I just feel like it's not my story to tell. So I'm working on deciding if I want to interview my mom or not. Also, speaking of that, today, April 27th, is my dad's birthday, and my dad usually listens to my podcast. So happy birthday, Dad, if you're listening to this on your birthday. If not, well, whatever day it is, happy belated birthday. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel like it's just her story to tell, and I kind of feel weird telling it. And I don't know if I would want someone else telling, I don't know. I don't have a kid. So it's like, do I want my daughter to tell my story, or would I want my kid to tell my story? But either way, I was like, I don't really know if I want to tell that. So holding off on that. But I have an episode around that mixed in. And today, part of today's episode, because I kind of talked about it last week or the week before, I was like, I need to talk about this on the podcast. So today I'm also going to talk about traveling, and because I've got some trips coming up, and one of them's a work trip and one's a personal trip. And it always has my mind thinking about traveling and traveling alone, etc. So I'll get to that in a second. But other than that, it's really just more of the same for me. I feel like this past couple of months has been a really big transitional period in a lot of different ways, where a lot of things stayed the same, but my mental clarity around some things got clearer, if you will. I have something stuck in my throat and I'm like, I need to cough. If you're new here, I don't edit like random stuff on my podcast like that, because I'm a human, and I want you to know that I am a human who coughs, and I drink my coffee while I record the podcast, even if that's annoying. Sorry. Where was I? So anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that. So talking about travel this weekend, nothing going on. Anyway, let's just jump into the life and business updates. So life updates, I will be traveling to see oh my God, I totally forgot. I'm also traveling in June. I'm traveling to see my family in June. I will be going to Switzerland again, like we did last year in July, which will be really great. We go to watch beach volleyball. And then I'm going on a work trip next week to New York City to go with Anna Hartman, Movement Rev, because I am her, what's called an integrator. So I work within her business and help her team out. So going with her to New York City next weekend for an event for a mastermind that she's in. So that's like my general stuff. And then when it comes to personal stuff, I feel so boring right now, but I'll be honest with you. Last year, my word of the year, I really crushed it. I started so many different hobbies. This year, my word is, nourish. And I'm like, is it even nourish? Is it even nourish? Because I'm like, I don't think it is. This is how bad it's been, because this is real. Like, this is real life. I was talking to someone about this. I was like, I think you go through periods where you just feel like, you have all the ambition. Yeah, it's nourish. Because I want to nourish the space and keep nourishing the hobbies that I started last year. So like, I started cooking, I started playing piano, we continuing to play volleyball, all of the things that I started reading. So continuing to nourish all of that stuff has been my goal. And I will tell you that over the past couple of months, like, I just haven't had the capacity that I usually that I had last year to do these hobbies. And I think part of it is like an energy thing. And I just said before, it's like my business management, if you will, things have not necessarily changed as far as what I'm doing, but some mental clarity has come. And I don't think that mental clarity would have come had I been spending more time doing the hobby side of things. So it's just like a busy work period, if you will. And it's been this way since I came back from my winter break. So it is what it is. Like, I do think you go through these every once in a while, but it's definitely a busy work time for me, and making the most of it, but also trying to make more time to play piano for sure. And then spend time planning out meals for the week and cooking and whatnot, because it's easier, one, to plan that type of stuff. And two, it's just, I enjoy it. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy baking. I enjoy doing all of this stuff. So making the time for that is obviously a big deal. And it's very easy to just keep working, and knowing that that is my tendency, it's helpful because then I have to really push myself to not do that. But with that, I think that it's one of those things where it's a season. I'll get through it. It is what it is. So realistically, nothing really big as far as the hobbies go. I feel like, again, like last year I was like, I'm doing this. And this year I think I'm just embracing the steadiness and embracing having the things, but and making the time for the things when I can, and just embracing that this season is about work, and that is what it is, and moving on from that. So the main thing that I want to talk about today, because I could just, give you a life update. But again, I told you this episode is going to be short because I am going into this week with some easy energy, simple energy. And I wanted this to be a quick, we're going to listen to this on our commute episode, or a quick little, walk around the block. So what I want to talk about is something that I see championed all the time. And this episode may age terribly. When I look back when I'm 40 or 45, I might look back at this and say, wow, that was a really dumb thing to say. But I'm going to say it because I do think there are people like me, or I know there are people like me. And for whatever reason they are like me, I think that it's sometimes difficult because you hear things that you should do or you should enjoy and you just don't. And then you think about it and you're like, should I enjoy that? Should I push myself to do this more to see if I actually enjoy it, or do I just not enjoy it? So this thing that I hear people talk about all the time is solo travel. And I have a bone to pick with everyone who's just like, you should travel alone. Traveling alone is the best thing for you. I actually have absolutely no interest in going somewhere by myself and traveling alone. And I've done a lot of work around this, and I'd be curious if you feel the same way. Or if you're a big traveler, or if you changed your mind, whatever, would love to hear it. I just don't have an interest in doing it. I think it comes from a place of, I don't want to do things alone because I enjoy experiencing things with another person. There's a quote somewhere that's just like, who is standing next to you? And like, you want to like show, like look at somebody and be like, wow, look at the sunset. And like, that is part of the, what makes it special. It's not just seeing it, but it's experiencing it with someone. And I feel like that is me. And I have sat here so many times and just been like, do I need to like throw myself in the fire and just like go do it and see if like is there something wrong with me? But I'm going to tell you, I recently in one of Shantae's Mafia meetings, the topic came up and someone was like, yeah, me neither. I don't like to do it either. And I was like, I am so happy to hear that. So I will tell you that there is no part of me that wants to travel alone. I don't want to go sightsee. I don't want to go to a different country. I don't want to go anywhere by myself. And again, I said like this might age poorly because there's a lot of messaging out there that's like, traveling alone, helps you improve your independence and helps you be this super independent person that can navigate the world by themselves and blah, 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 blah. Listen, I have no doubt that I can do that. I have no doubt that I can do all of that stuff. But I will also tell you that that is not like, I would never just be like, I'm going to go to Costa Rica today by myself. I just wouldn't, because I want to experience things with people, even if it's just like a friend trip or a trip with my mom or something, which I should do that. I should build something to go on a trip with my mom at some point. I feel like she would really enjoy that. So I'm saying that now, and I'm hoping that I make that happen, knowing that I need to do it. But I just don't have an interest in traveling alone. I don't want to go hiking alone. Like, I just don't. And I think, again, I do think that I always say like, they say, and Shantae's like, who's they? And I will just say, I've seen a lot of people talking about like how traveling alone and like doing these things builds character, basically. And I just don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't see it. I don't have a want. I don't have a need. And I almost get like I said, a little bent up about it, because I'm just like, if I'm spending time thinking about this, like I know that other people are also spending time thinking about this. So here I am telling you, you are not alone. If you also don't enjoy traveling by yourself, or you're not looking to travel by yourself, because me neither. Yeah, that's me neither. I don't have an interest. I want to be able to look to my shoulder and be like, hey, did you enjoy that as well? And have the other person say yes, whether that is a friend, a family, my partner, like it just would be better with someone else. And I can't even see it a different way. And I guess we'll check in on this episode, in 5-10 years, but that's where my head's at right now. Okay. So before I wrap this up, and again, if you're new here, just so you know, these episodes are typically really tactical, and you learn something and you walk away with something new. Go listen to one of the other 169 episodes that I have. Today is simply a life update because I do these every once in a while, and the podcast is labeled personal as well. So it's up in my business, and it does say like personal stuff because I am the business as well. So every once in a while I like to do personal updates and just do a quick personal breakdown and just thoughts that stream into my head. Because again, these are unscripted. I'm not over here reading you something that I planned out beforehand. So with that, I believe the only other thing that I wanted to touch on is that in the coming weeks, something that you're going to be able to see more of from me will be, I don't want to say red flags, but things to look for and things to understand about hiring someone to do your website, SEO, Google Ads, whatever. And what I mean by that is things that you should say yes to. And then if something is not that way, where your red flag should go up and say, but wait, why? And just understanding, what is something that's typical, and when is this person bamboozling me? And mostly because, I don't think that I am a fit for every single person on this earth, but I know that a lot of people look to outsource things. So if I can educate on how to outsource accordingly, I think that would be really helpful for people, especially when I'm not a fit, or if I can't take on new clients. And if someone's looking to outsource their stuff, I think that having the education around it would be really helpful, because again, like I just want people to have the skills for understanding, what's something that they should not say yes to, and something that's weird, and something that I disagree with. And, again, my way is not the highway. My way is not the highway. That's not what I want to say. My way is not the only way. And my way is not by all means like the only right way. But I will tell you that there are things that I see over and over again where I just say, what? It's kind of like the pelvic health provider who hears that a doctor said, just have a glass of wine before you have sex. Those types of things, I hear things like that in my world all the time. Not just to have a glass of wine, but obviously inside with a tech component involved. And my eyes, I have to hide the look on my face when I hear these things, because it is actually so atrocious that I want to just, throw myself in the road, because I cannot believe people are saying these things out loud. But it happens. And so I want to start talking about it. I want to start talking about the things that, one, I believe, but two, evidence behind the things that I believe. And three, things that you need to look out for, things that matter to me, things that, I think you should know, things that you want to keep an eye out for, etc. And I'm pretty excited about it. Shantae really helped me come to the decision that I needed to do this, and that it would be a good way to, essentially get the word out there about what to look out for. It's just kind of like, how do you choose a provider? And, but now it's going to be like, how do you choose someone to outsource? And if you're going to outsource, what do you want to look for? And I'm excited about it. So you'll see content on that in my newsletter, podcast, Instagram, all the things, blog. So stay tuned for that. All right. So with that, I promised you a short episode. It's now 20 minutes, and I hope you enjoyed, again, this very all over the place update. I am very grateful that I always get DMs after these episodes from people. They're like, hey, thanks for like being human. Hey, thanks for the updates. And I appreciate it. And I also appreciate it when podcasters that I listen to give personal updates and like a life episode and not like this big educational thing. So I always appreciate it. So I hope you appreciate it. If not, there are a bazillion other episodes for you to go listen to. And then also you can just come back next week and you'll get a different topic to learn about, I promise. But this week we're keeping it light. We kept it light, and I appreciate you for listening. All right, friends, that's all I've got for you. I'm going to go drink my coffee, probably work out, and then enjoy the rest of Sunday. I'm just excited. I'm excited for the next coming months and just appreciate you so much for being here. So thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next time.